Hi, my name is Robbie Hine, and today I'm going to be talking about the Baltic States. More importantly, I'm going to be talking about Estonia compared to Litva, but I'll also be giving a brief economic history on Lithuania. So first, before I dive into Estonia's and Litva's economies today and compare them to each other, I want to discuss a little bit about the economic history and where they got to from today. Estonia gained their independence in 1918. Its economy started off mainly in agriculture, but being on the coastline, this made it heavily accessible to trade. Also being a gateway between the East and West, Estonia's market reform put it among the economic leaders in the former Comcon area. In 1992, Estonia replaced the ruble with its own freely convertible currency called the crown. Estonia then kept the crown until 2008, where it was set to adopt the euro, but due to high inflation rates, the adoption date was then delayed to 2011. Once adopted in 2011, Estonia became the 17th Eurozone member state. Now moving from Estonia to Lithuania, Lithuania has been around centuries longer than Estonia has been, but Lithuania wasn't an actual state. Instead, it was a bunch of ancient tribesmen known as the Bals, and they maintained their economy mostly by keeping ties with the Roman Empire and trading with them up until the 13th century. In 1253, Lithuania had its first ruler, and then closer to the 14th century, under the Grand Duke Gediminas, it moved to a more highly centralized government. Then during the 16th century, the economy was dominated by the exploitations of serfs in a more feudalistic economy. Now moving to Latvia. For centuries under German influence, Latvia used its geographic location as an important east versus west commercial and trading center. After reestablishing its independence, Latvia proceeded with market-oriented reforms, albeit it was at a measured pace. They then introduced their freely traded currency, the lat, in 1993, which held steady and appreciated, dropping inflation from 25% in 1993 all the way down to 1.4% by 2002. So now that I've told you about a little bit about their history, I just want to tell you where Estonia is at today. Right now, they're the 8th freest country in the world, with property rights at 90%, business freedom at 81.5%, unemployment at 8.5%, and CPI or inflation at 3.5%. And as you can see at the bottom, all this information was found at heritage.org. For Litva, because they're the two economies that I am discussing and comparing today, I will not be talking about Lithuania, but Latvia is the 37th freest country, with property rights at 50%, business freedom at 82.1%, unemployment all the way up to 10.9%, and an inflation rate of 0%. Now, as you can see here, they are a lot less free than Estonia, and the property rights are a lot lower, and you can tell their employment is a lot higher. Again, this information was found at heritage.org. So, now that I gave you history and where they are today, I want to say why Estonia got to where they were and why they are so free. The end of communism in 1992, although it created chaos in the country of Estonia, it gave Estonia a window of opportunity. Estonia was absolutely dependent on Russia during the Soviet Union, which accounted for 92% of Estonian international trade. Now, Estonians at this time, once the communism fell, did not see much for their future in the economy, but they knew that something needed to be done. So in 1992, Estonia held its first democratic election. The first step taken was monetary reform, where during this reform, Estonia introduced their own currency, as I already talked about, the crown. With fixing the exchange rate to a strong currency like the Deutsche Mark created trust in the Estonian economy. Moving from monetary reform, the next stage for Estonia was necessary in order to give people new hope and new opportunity in the nation. Under Soviet-imposed socialism, people are not used to thinking for themselves, taking initiative or assuming risks. And without a major readjustment of attitudes, the nation would have never become a country with free government and free markets. To accomplish these goals, Estonia had to find a way to give people different opportunities to do business, and to do this, Estonia had to open the economy to the world economies. Estonia reduced trade tariffs and abolished all export restrictions, making the country a trade-free zone. This was found to be very successful, boosting competition, reconstruction, and growth throughout the nation. Openness to the world market brought many new companies which opened new, export-oriented factors. Finally, part of the Estonian economic freedom and prosperity, they proposed a flat tax throughout all the nation. All of these reforms moved Estonia to one of the most freest countries in the world, as I already said, being the 8th freest country. Just to give a little bit of an example of what happened, farming, which had been once collectivized, was then privatized after 20 years. This made it more efficient and it became increasingly more profitable. Also, Estonian economy was one of the fastest growing until 2006, where it had